It's 6:30 a.m. and we've just arrived at the airport. I'm joined by Debbie, Trekitt's retail supervisor. Luckily, she knows how to navigate airports efficiently, as I'm completely lost in what seems to be a gated sea of chaos and stress. A fairly uneventful check-in later, and we're on our flight to Marco Polo, Venice. It seemed the early start was slightly unnecessary, as our transfer to the hotel wasn't until late afternoon, but since the town's only a short bus journey away from the airport, we used this free time to indulge in some Italianness. Coffee and pizza amongst the canals and the historic streets. It's been about 20 minutes, we've arrived in Venice, so we've got about 2 hours. We're going to go for a little explore. Doesn't feel like work, does it? The water is like a lovely aqua-y green. It's a good work day. Once picked up, we were taken to Aku's hometown of Montebelluna to collect the boots we'd be using over the next few days, followed by a winding trip through the jagged mountains to our hotel in Valcanale. Sitting behind a layer of glass as you passed miles and miles of seemingly perfect landscape was a bit like watching the waiter walk to another table with the food that you've just ordered. So I'll give you a little bit of a room tour. Got my stuff down here. Been given a lovely pair of Aku slopes in my size, and the whole place is quite log cabin-y. You've got a lovely picture of the mountains. You've got TV, not that I really need to use that, and lots of wood. In the morning, I'll show you what the view's like out of there. Okay, so as promised, let me show you the view. It is cold, but look, that is just out of, that's the room. This dark. This is all my balcony, and that's the view. Day 2 on the itinerary indicated a day in the mountains, something we'd all been craving since arriving. We downed a big breakfast of yogurt, fruit, toast, and of course coffee. Apparently only cappuccinos are acceptable before 8 a.m. and laced up our new boots ready for their maiden voyage. Look at that. Boots, base layer, matchy matchy. The route took us along the valley floor for a short while before sharply ascending along a gravel path into the woodland that sits a few hundred metres up. At this point I was fully expecting the boots to slip on my heels slightly, feet like matchsticks, very used to it, but surprisingly they were absolutely fine. At some point the previous day, our host, Vittorio, assured us that he knew of a local shop that sold the best cheese we'd ever had. Little did we know he'd packed half a wheel of the stuff with a bottle of local wine in his day pack and whipped it out on the trail at a short break. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of cheese, so I left it to those who would actually enjoy it, but I'm told it was pretty damn good. A few hours later, we arrived at the highest point on our walk, which doubled up as our lunch spot. The best lunch spot I've ever experienced, I should add. Despite my very limited experience of Italy and its cultures, I've noticed that they tend to take a lot more time to experience things than we do. Lunch isn't simply a matter of shoveling a load of food and moving on, but rather a chance to stop, rest, take in where you are, and relax for a while. There were frequent stops along the way for no particular reason, and the set time might have half an hour leeway either side for socialising or making coffee. The rest of the route included descending back to the valley floor, filling up our bottles from the fresh running river, taking photos, and in my case, rummaging around my pack for remaining snacks. We made it back to our accommodation in time to watch a film that Aku had prepared for us featuring our mountain guide for the day, I'm very sorry, Petter, I can't pronounce your name properly. If this is available, I'll stick it below as it's a really good way to spend half an hour. Good morning. It is about 8:30 and look behind me. Really nice light on the mountains. We're going to pack up and then we're going to go to Aku's factory for a bit of a factory tour, which is a pretty welcome change because most of us are pretty tired and achy today. So we'll catch up with you once we get there. Don't knock it off the table. On day 3 of the trip, Aku had arranged a factory tour for the group back in Montebelluna, where we'd see how the boots are made, the processes they use, meet some of the staff, and generally get to grips with how much effort is actually put into making a seemingly simple object. Spoiler, they're not that simple. I should add here that not all of Aku's boots are made here. It's mainly the more sort of specialist models, while the rest are made in various other factories around the world. Of the boots that are made here, 90% of the raw materials are sourced from Italy, while smaller items such as the laces are made just 3 kilometers away in the same town. In the particular boot that we were using, all of the upper materials are recycled. The Gore-Tex membrane is laminated with 99% recycled yarns, the laces are recycled, and the midsole is 20% recycled. There are various tests that are carried out in the factory before being constructed into a piece of footwear. The strange white bag attached to the machine on screen now is the Gore-Tex membrane that actually provides the waterproofing inside the boot. It's clamped shut around a small tube, inflated and then dunked into the water. If the little sock isn't waterproof, you'll see bubbles escaping and it doesn't make it into the boot. This is done for every single boot that leaves the factory. Historically, someone with a scalpel would look at a piece of material, have another look at the stencils needed to be cut from it, and would work out how many pieces they could feasibly remove. Now, you've still got the person, but instead they line up a projection of the pieces and then move them over the material to position. This is quicker and it wastes far less material as the machine can work out all the technical stuff and how everything fits together, I guess. Footwear is still stitched by hand in the factory, making no 2 pairs of boots exactly the same. Many of the staff have been working in this location for upwards of 20 years, and it definitely shows. I imagine if I tried stitching a boot together or gluing a sole unit on, it would end up looking like a 4-year-old's art project that you sympathetically stick on a shelf in the kitchen, despite not knowing what it's supposed to be. The last day of the trip was entirely taken up by travel, and I won't subject you to that, so I shall end this video here. Big thanks to everyone involved, including Ardbla, who are the Aku distributors here in the UK, and Aku themselves for taking care of us all and leading us around the mountains and their factory and just generally babysitting us. And of course, if you're interested in any Aku footwear, then we stock a bunch of it. Quite a few of us here at Trekitt have bought the boots with our own money, some others have been given it kindly, and we've always had really good experiences with it, so I'd highly recommend considering them, having a look and seeing how you go.